Yeah, me and Jimmy were just talking
Carried it on.
money and different things. So, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if you look at this here, Jimmy, just to give you an idea, uh, I don't know how well you can see that, but there's the key fob video,
Yep.
$30, and then like that's a live stream I did. Those are donations, and then there's my okay, and there's my salvage inspection. So between my two best videos,
Uh-huh.
that's like half of my money. But you're right. That's like what approaching 6 or 7 thousand views between the two of them.
Yeah.
Oh well, probably closer to 8.
Oh,
Um,
look, my headset mic is working again.
so yeah, it's just a weird game. Like I don't know. Think about that stuff. Like more videos for the masses. I have a. You got the video back up. I'm not even in there.
Yeah.
I
I don't see
have a
notification
link
yet.
that I sent to Renegade's Garage earlier because he was saying it's hard to come up with content ideas. Where is it? I
Yeah.
gotta pull it. I gotta pull it up
I
here.
don't technically have an issue with that. That's easy for me.
Right.
Right. Well, where the fuck is it? Oh, here it is. There's this website called Answer the Public,
Okay.
and it's a weird search site, right? You can unless you pay for it, you can only search 3 times, and they have it locked down. Like
Yeah.
you will only be able to search 3 times a day, but you
Ah.
can enter in a couple keywords like I don't know, new Milwaukee or whatever topic you were wanting to talk about. And it will bring up every different iota of every version of that people are actively searching for within the last like 3 months.
Oh,
No
And I
wow.
kidding.
mean it's even better than the Google AdSense or the Google Trends because Google Trends only focuses on the first couple popular things.
Right.
This literally labels them all. If it's like above like 1,000 searches, it'll
Yep.
list it. And it's huge, like the list that they give you. So every day you can kind of hop on there and check
Yep.
something. It's really useful.
Wow.
Answer the public.
I'll have to write. I'm gonna write that down real quick.
Yeah. Or I could send it to you on Instagram or something.
Oh yeah, you can send
Yeah.
it to me on Instagram. That's fine.
All right. Yeah, the live's back up. But yeah, it's a really interesting website for trying to, like, if you have a topic but you don't know what to do with it, or even if you have a video and you might not know exactly what to call it, what to title it to get the best search results.
Right.
Type in some keywords and then see which ones are the highest searched.
Yeah, and
Things like that.
the other thing is a lot of the videos I do on the Forerunner is most there's very little videos on 2000 Forerunners, especially third gens, and because the clutch fan clutch on mine is failing, I already have one on order, but it's not like you got to take the entire front end apart just to get the fan out. You can literally unbolt the 4 bolts and pull the fan out from right out of the fan shroud, right out the engine bay without moving anything. And I figured that would be a nice, quick, easy video to do, so that way
Hmm.
people do know. Because the problem with certain vehicles is there isn't any information on them. And you think a vehicle that's 21 years old almost now, you think it'd have more information, and they normally don't.
Yeah, you want to talk about lack of information. My Fiesta in the garage, that book that I got, which is the only one that I could find. Granted, I was searching around Amazon and eBay and a couple different places. I didn't
Wow,
scour the internet.
there wasn't any like shop manuals on eBay. Usually eBay sells a crap ton of no matter what make and model.
Yeah, the service manuals, no, I didn't find any. At least not at
Wow.
that time. But, well, the Fiestas are popular for the turbos.
Yeah, they
So
are.
they're probably covered by the same manuals, and I bet a lot of those enthusiasts buy them up. But that book is actually from Europe. Like
Oh, is
I,
it really?
and it took forever to get here, and I figured out why because the seller was in Europe. Like they were
Ah,
just offering it, and I paid out the ass for it. I paid like $35,
wow.
and it's not even that helpful. It's got some torque specs and some other things, but you know,
Yeah,
when it comes
usually,
time to,
usually I don't have an issue finding shop manuals, but there's other sources you can get shop manuals from. You can actually get them from the original makers. Because
oh
Ford,
really, like the publishers?
no, you can actually get the shop manuals that you get at automotive shops. You can get them from the original manufacturer. For an example, Fords are made by a company called Triumph Automotive, and that's all they make is Ford shop manuals. You
Hmm.
may not be able to walk into a Ford dealership and get the manual from them anymore, but you can go directly to the original manufacturer for certain things. Um, and I'll have to I'll have to get some more information and I'll see what I can do. I might be able to find you a set of actual shop service manuals for that. Just give me like a few days or whatever, and I'll see what I
Oh
can do.
yeah, yeah. Let me know. I mean, it's no big deal. Like at this point, I'm I'm sure I'll get the puzzle back together, but it's gonna
Right?
be a
It's
process.
kind of like when we were talking in your live stream the other day. You were asking how do you retime it and everything, and there should be timing marks. At least majority of vehicles have a little dimple on the metal. That's the
Well,
timing mark.
well, no, I was more worried about the cams. They
Right,
don't.
and
All right.
I
They
don't
don't
know if
have markings.
what's up, Jimmy?
I'm about to take off, and I wanted to get the what was the name of that page
Oh, that.
again?
Oh, it's called Answer
Yep.
the Public.
BLIC. Alrighty, thank you much. I got a roll, and I want to thank you again because I just looked at your Bauer Tools dirty secret and got an answer that I kind of like.
Take it easy, Jimmy.
All right, thanks, Jimmy. It was nice meeting you.
Peace out, man. Thanks for having me up, Antonio. We'll
No
catch you
problem, brother.
later.
But the cams, when I you have to take those out to get the head off, and the pulleys I know I can line back up, but the cams,
It
I
should
guess,
be it should be overhead. It's an overhead
yeah, it is.
cam. So,
Right.
does it have cam phasers or is it just physical straight gear, no phasers?
Uh, it's just straight.
So is it for an example, is the gear just a straight gear? It's pretty thin, or is it a gear attached to a metal housing, like a 1 inch thick metal round circle attached to the gear?
Oh, yeah, it's got the phasers on it with
Okay,
their oil
so it does
filled.
have phasers in it. Yeah, they're oil filled. Okay, so the phasers should have a dimple on them. And all you got to do when it comes to retiming the cams is put the phasers back on. It does not matter which direction you bolt the phasers back on. Just make sure that when you put the phasers back on and you set the cams back in place, just make sure that you line those dimple marks on the phasers with the dimple on the chain. And then make sure that the chains are, I believe yours should have two chains that go to the crank pulley. And make sure that the chain mark on both chains is lined up for the dimple on the crank, near the crank dimple. Because the crank will have a little indent circle. That's the
Right.
that's the timing mark. Both chains should have a mark for the phaser side as well as the crank side. So as long as you get all of those in line, and as long as the engine's in top dead center on the first piston, you should be good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I got top dead center straight, but then when I had to pull out the cams, I was like, I'm scratching my head, looking like there's no
Yeah, as
keyway.
soon as you pull
There's
out the cams, you're gonna screw it up, and it's not really that hard to do. All you got to do is make sure that the dimple on the chains for the phaser side are lined up with the dimple, because the chains will have a dimple that matches the dimple on the phaser. Same on the opposite side of the chain, it will have a dimple that lines up with the crank. And if it doesn't have a dimple, it will have a discolored chain link. And when it comes to the phaser side, the chain link, the dimple on the phaser should be in the middle of that discolored chain link.
Chain link.
And
Okay.
then on the crank side, it should also be the same. So if the chains don't have dimple marks or an indentation mark, it should have a discolored physical link. So all you got to do is make sure that that dimple on the phaser is in the middle of that discolored link on both the crank side as well as the phaser side, and it will line up perfectly every time.
Okay, cool.
It's the
All right,
easiest
yeah.
way to do it. And Ford is notorious for that, where they, instead of putting dimples on the chains, they physically put a discolored chain link. They're very
Okay.
famous for it.
Yeah, I'll have to double check that because yeah, they probably did, and that's something I hadn't had to mess with
And
yet.
if it comes down to it, you can always message me on Instagram, and I'll send you my phone number, and you can always just call me if you need help.
Shit. Yeah, you're what? You're in like what, Arizona, right?
Yeah, I'm in Arizona.
That's what I thought. Uh yeah, fucking that's the one interesting thing about being up here where I'm at is I have a bunch of like, relatively high profile automotive YouTubers around, but these guys work on cars all day. Like ain't
Right.
nobody got time to, run up here and help me with my issue or whatever. Like Eric the car guy is maybe a little over an hour south of me.
Oh, you're in
Rust
Ohio?
Belt, yeah, Rust Belt Mechanic lives in the next town over, as well as the Master Apprentice, Captain Ron.
Right.
Um,
I'm actually
uh,
a moderator on Eric the Car Guy's website.
oh, really? Are you?
Yeah.
That's sweet, dude. Yeah, I've been watching him for years, and I just realized it. He posted some video about all the. I mean, I guess I kind of like. I probably knew, but I didn't know like where.
Right.
And he posted that video recently on ETCG1 about kids wanting to race him in the Acura all the time
Yeah.
when he was driving around, and he said something about driving around down here wherever. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, oh, you're just like an hour away from me. I'm gonna have to come down there and race the Acura now. But
Right.
but yeah, so I thought that was funny. And Rust Belt's up here. There's another guy. He's more of like a car flipper, but he still has the mechanical knowledge. Black
Right.
Zeus Garage. He's like another hour from me. I could probably call him. I bet he'd come over and give me a hand. But it's just that kind of stuff. I'm out in the country, far removed from
Right.
anything really, and
Well,
I ain't
I'm
asking.
also out in the country, middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I'm not asking anybody to make any special trips out here. But and I'm trying to move out further, which unfortunately is a current trend because of all this bullshit happening.
But
Um,
if you need help, you can always, message me, and I'm more than willing to give my number out if you need it. I don't have an issue helping people. That's the whole point of YouTube, is to make friends and help people as much as you can. And so it can be confusing when it comes to some of these modular Ford motors. They they sometimes can be very picky. Even though you got it at top dead center, there's some reason the chain won't line up with the cams, and it's at top dead center, and it could be that it's at top dead center, but it's just slightly about to go onto the closing stroke, and it won't accept the chain, and you got to wind it back just a little.
hmm,
They can be picky sometimes.
yeah, yeah, I'll have to watch that. I mean, it's been a few months in the making trying to get this thing back together, but it all goes back to time. It's like you were saying, like you do all this stuff and then you finally get some time off and you're just like, I ain't touching it. I'm not gonna think about it. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna
Right,
sit back and relax. And that's kind of I've had the kids because of the COVID.
right,
Like every day off I've had for like the last 6 months.
yeah,
Right? So, like, I mean, and that sounds like a a cop out kind of, but my kids are small. They are not entertained very easily, and
Right.
to be out in the garage for hours on end or something like that
And
is
several
not
several of my kids are small, under the ages of 6. So, yeah, they're not easily entertained, and you got what you want to do, and then you got your kids, and then you got, everything else that needs to be done, but you're too tired and you don't want to do it.
right, exactly. Yeah. Well, anyhow, I do need to hop off here. I got an early morning tomorrow with the kids.
All right, man.
But I will catch you later, and I will get a hold of you on Instagram and send you that link.
All right, brother. All right, take it easy,
All
man.
right. Yep. Thanks.
All right,
Bye.
peace. I know the mic's working. Where is YouTube at? Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Okay. All right. Well, since nobody's in the chat, I'm gonna close the chat down in the live stream. I'm gonna have to edit these later as well. What are we at? We're at 16 minutes. All right. So, if anybody is watching, I'm gonna close the stream down. Appreciate you guys stopping by, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.